Hi friends, so today we're going to be talking about glimmer farming. I wanted to make a video with actual tests and data about what you can expect to earn with different methods. So we have several different places we're going to test out. If one in particular looks interesting to you, you can jump to it by clicking on the title card here. Otherwise, we'll just go through them in order. So for this first run, I just wanted to start off with something very simple that people were familiar with. And people don't really do this run that much anymore. It's not very good as far as efficiency goes, but I thought starting out with something simple like this would give me a chance to quickly explain how I did these tests. What I did 10 cycles of each different method that I wanted to test. And what I mean by that is that I took the time from the end of the current run I was on to the end of the next run. That way it takes into account all the death timers, the loading screens, running from location to location in between each run. So that way you get some real-time numbers, some accurate numbers. If you browse message boards at all or forums for Destiny, people will say, well, you know, I get 1,000 glimmer per minute or whatever from this run, or etc. And a lot of times those are just exaggerations or generalizations. So I wanted some real numbers. So after I got those numbers, I just kind of compiled them, as you can see here, into a quick little summary. And that's some actual data that you can use and kind of get a feel for what you might want to do as far as your own glimmer farming. So the first real run I guess we're doing here is a Voidwalker on the exclusion zone. Exclusion zone is certainly the most popular of all the glimmer farming methods, and for good reason. It's very fast, especially if you're a Voidwalker. With one Nova Bomb and Obsidian Mine, you can actually hit both sides of the majors at once. Once they're all dead, your super is recharged for the next run. You can jump off, scatter grenade yourself, and start over. It's very fast. I prefer the perks Scatter Grenade, Focus Burst, Shatter, Annihilate, and Bloom. That makes sure everything is dead. I do like using an Icebreaker. That helps to aim, I guess, and then you can pick off a straggler if there's one or two that you miss. Once you get on top of the ship here, you're going to stand in the corner where that green circle is. I aim at the front of the ship where the bottom green circle is. Move up to the top of that dune right there with my reticle. And that's pretty much perfect. Once you get it down, you'll be getting numbers like this. 674.1 per minute. Very quick. Takes a little while to get down, but once you do, it's a great way to farm for a glimmer. So for this next run, we'll be at the exclusion zone again, this time with a Striker Titan. You'll actually be getting very similar glimmer per minute as we did last time if you're using the right setup and the right methods here. You'll want to be using a lightning grenade, which you can toss on the left side. That will kill the majors as they fall out of the ship. Then on the right side, you can super or rocket and kill the other ones. Everything dies very quickly. Get out your shotgun. You crouch into a corpse, as you saw there, and shoot yourself in the foot. Works just the same way as it does in water. If you crouch, shoot yourself in the foot, you'll die. So very handy for runs like this. You do have to have max discipline to do this correctly, as your grenade has to be up when you get to the second ship, and max discipline will get you there just in time. Lightning grenade can miss every once in a while, a major or two, so you're not going to be quite getting there unless your lightning grenades are perfect, but still 644 per minute, very similar, very respectable, and great if you don't have Obsidian Mine and all the stuff required for that. As a hunter, your solo time for exclusion zone is unfortunately pretty slow compared to the previous two methods. However, you can be very successful as a team with either 2 or 3 people. It's extremely easy and simple method. Each person simply picks a side to kill. One person will use their super, and one person will use a rocket. You'll take down the majors very quickly this way, and the person that used the rocket can run to the other side and pick up the orbs of the person that used their super, and then you'll switch roles for the next run. Just kind of swap supers back and forth there. Makes this very quick. One thing to keep in mind, however, when you're doing this is that you do have to be very close to each other to share glimmer, even if you're on the same fire team. So when my friends and I do this, we like to run under the ship and simply face the side that we're going to kill. This method is very consistent. You'll very rarely miss a major. So even though sometimes it does take a few seconds longer per run, you'll still be getting a very respectable 657 per minute, which is on par with the previous two methods. Next up, we'll finally be heading away from the sand and flying over to Patrol Venus for the Loot Cave. This has been around for a while, and I'm sure many of you are fairly familiar with it. Not quite as good as the original Loot Cave, of course, but pretty similar in principle. For those that are unfamiliar with where this is, of course you can follow along on the Sparrow there, not too far away from the patrol spawn point. Before you can actually do any kind of farming with it, you will have to clear out all of the enemies in here, and then you can head outside afterwards. Once you get outside, you'll actually be looking into this room right here, the one that I'm about to go into. That's where the enemies will spawn. Now you do want to use your ether seeds while you're in the building, unlike what I'm doing here. I'm already outside. If you do it while you're outside, like you see here, the enemies will spawn while you're in your menu, and that can definitely mess everything up, especially if you're doing this by yourself. However, once you are outside with your ether seeds on, you want to distance yourself a little bit far away from the building here, and then you want to snipe in with an icebreaker. Now you do want to use an icebreaker because the icebreaker perk will kill everything in one shot. You just want to hit a drag in the head right as they spawn. They're all clumped together. They'll all explode at the same time. So that means pretty much one shot, one kill. Means that you can do this with any number of people and it will be the same speed, which is very nice. Now keep in mind that you're only killing red bar enemies here, no majors, which means no loot baubles. Loot baubles are the little triangle things that pop out. That means a little less glimmer per minute because you can't turn those into the Cryptarch. However, you can get Ingrams, as you can see here. This is 11 Ingrams on the ground after just 6 minutes of farming, which is pretty good. They'll just keep piling up as long as you keep shooting. They're not going to despawn or disappear, so you're not going to be getting quite as much glimmer, but if you need some weapon parts or armor parts as well, this could be the place for you. Up next we have the Gatekeeper in the Vault of Glass. This is on normal mode, however I guess you could do it on hard mode. You will die a lot. You'll die a lot more often, so it's not going to be as efficient. So getting here on normal mode is definitely preferred. This is my favorite method by far of glimmer farming. It's very fun, and it's also the fastest. You can do this on any class. It's a little bit better with a Voidwalker or a Striker Titan for that reason you just saw there. You want to have a rocket launcher for that reason you just saw there. And you want to have a universal remote and another shotgun for your special weapon to get the most out of this, at least if you're doing it as a solo. Of course you could do this as a team if you wanted. It's not really going to improve your time any, but it could make it a little more consistent. However, this is very consistent as it is. You're just running through shotgunning, supering, and rocketing. It's pretty simple. It's very fun. The one downside to this is you actually have to get to the Gatekeeper on normal, which a lot of people don't have checkpoints for. You'd actually have to run through and do that. So this is, if you're going to be doing a lot of glimmer farming, maybe for an Iron Banner week, this is my preferred way to go. The glimmer per minute is actually pretty much the same as the best exclusion zone runs, but you're actually killing 35% more enemies per minute, which means 35% more loot baubles, so a lot more of those plus 200s to turn into the Cryptarch at the end of each run. That's really about it for the real runs. There are two other things I wanted to include just because I know people have talked about them before and I wanted to kind of test them to see if they're really worth doing. This is the Awakening on Heroic, which is not terrible, but it's certainly not on par with the other things that we've done today. You can clear things out very quickly. There's 5 hive majors here, which gives you 225-ish glimmer per run, which is, very fast run. However, you're not getting much per run. You have to sit through this death timer and loading screen every time. And then also, because it's so short, your grenade usually doesn't have time to recharge between each run, which means you're not going to have a way to kill yourself a lot of the time, which makes it even slower. So I did this a few times, got around 400 glimmer per minute, which is okay, but other places are a bit faster. So the last thing I wanted to kind of touch on real quick here is the Ishtar Commons public event where the enemies are moving against each other, like the enemy war kind of public event. There was a video posted about a month ago of someone here with his friends. They got here right when the event started, and they just went to town on all the Vex enemies. This particular public event, just hordes of Vex enemies all spawn in the same room. So a Blade Dancer or a Warlock with Obsidian Mind can just keep supering over and over while these enemies pile up. And you'll get about, I believe he had 10,000 Glimmer in 6 minutes, which is really impressive. And it's great if you can get here right when it starts. However, it only happens once every 35 to 40 minutes or so. So it's not consistent at all. And unlike other public events, even other enemy wars, this one in particular can't be tracked. If you go to Destiny public events, you'll notice that it's not there. The admin himself has said that there's no pattern to this one, so there's no way to really trace it and see when things are going to happen, which makes this really great. If you can get here right when it starts, it's a blast. It's really fun. But as far as glimmer farming goes, this is not where you want to be. But other than that, I don't have anything else for you, so I really want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it was informative. I know glimmer farming is not the most fun, but hopefully this will help you out in getting through it a little quicker. If you have any questions about anything that we went over, certainly feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer. Or if there's something that you'd like to see tested, let me know, and who knows, maybe it'll be my next video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.